Hello again. We are going through the sessions on how to make complex sentences. And we have already seen the conditional sentences and how to use. Here we are going to see the relative clauses and how to use them. Again, these are very helpful in making complex sentences, so giving variety to your grammatical structures while writing. Let's try to understand what is it. It is used to relate a sentence to another sentence without repeating the subject. The same way as you have read the referencing words, perhaps it is helped the same way. So I'll usually we use words like whom, who, which, that. These are the most popular use where you want, for example, you say I want to talk about a person. Now you want to add some who has won the Booker Prize this year in literature. So you can see I'm talking about a person. Now you're going to say the person has won. You're not saying that. So instead of that, if you repeat connect the sentence by using them, they are known as relative clause, the entire part, right? There are two types of relative clause, although it's not so important to know for you, except for the fact that punctuation mark is a bit important. The first is known as defining relative clause. Defining relative clause means we are using this to talk about who and what a person is, means to know that person. So it means defining, and here we don't use any comma. So let's see an example. Despite being busy people, despite being busy, there should be a comma is missing here. Despite being busy, people who care for their parents, you can see there, despite being busy. Now it's about people, so we don't use comma here after people. So people who care for their parents, here I'm clearly defining the people. I want to know who is that people, right? So in that case we don't use comma before that, although comma will be used here because I have used despite being busy. But people, and then we are using who, so there is no comma. You can see people who care for their parents set a good example. So here we are able to know what type of people we are talking about. The second one is non-defining relative clauses, where we need additional information about a person, place, or thing, but we do not define. So that's not the basic definition of it, right? Let me show you an example here again. Skype language lessons are becoming more common, right? Which may be due to their affordability. So I'm not here going to talk about what is spike language is. That's not the definition. This is not the definition. So if we want to know who and what we are talking about, like people who are care, right? So you can see this is defining. We are not using comma here in between, but here because they are non-defining, we are not defining them. Skype language lessons are becoming more common, so we are supposed to already know what is Skype language. I'm just giving additional information which may be due to their affordability. So that's why we have used comma. So I hope you will be careful while using the relative clause, especially where to use punctuation marks or not. Let's look at some examples that how it can be used for writing an essay. First, especially useful in supporting sentences in body paragraph. Mostly they're used there because you want to add something about a subject, a place, or a thing. They can be used to give more information about an example. We have already discussed that. Let's see this one. Swimming pools. Now you can see swimming pools which are available at most sports. So I'm not defining swimming pool here. I'm not saying what is swimming pool, right? So we need comma here. Swimming pools which are available at most sports center give people the opportunity to work on their cardiovascular health, right? So I'm not defining swimming pool here, so that's why comma is there. Let's see another example. This is because mixed schools offer realistic environment. Now you can see which means that, but again, I'm not defining what a mixed school is. If the sentence like a mixed school where students are taught in where boys and girls are taught in the same school, then there could be a comma because I'm defining that, right? So you're getting the point, no? There would not be any comma if I'm defining it. So for example, I would like to give you another example you can understand. The boy who I met last night, right? The boy who I met last night. Now, here you're in a way you're defining the boy. So you can say the boy who is an engineer. Now, say this is what you're defining the boy. The boy who is an engineer met me last night. Now you can see the boy who is an engineer here who is saying who is the boy. So here you don't have to use comma because they're defining. But the boy whom I met last night is an engineer. Now here I'm not defining boy with who or whom. So that is non-defining, and here you have to use comma. I hope you must have understood it by now, and this is very important. So just punctuation mark is something that you have to be careful about, and you also have to be careful that who and whom is used for person. That can be used for person or a thing as well, which is used for a thing. The pen that you gave me, or the person that blessed me. So here we can use that, right? But the pen which you gave me, now we cannot say the person who you gave me. That's not possible. Where is used when you talk, this is the place where I spend my entire life. So we're talking about the place. When is used when we're talking about time. So that's all about relative clause. I hope you will be able to use them successfully now to make complex sentences. Okay, that's all from this video. Bye for now.